my goodness. Hello. It's so beautiful out here today. Look at this. Yes. Hey, we did it. We made it to this moment. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. It's This Moment in Music, a musical exploration of the creative process. Thanks so much for joining me. My guest today is Alan Rowoth. He's been referred to as an encyclopedia of rock and folk music history. So we're in for a real treat today. I'm so glad you're here. Use the comment section freely. I want to connect with you. Subscribe, like, and spread the word about this show. It's This Moment in Music. I hope you enjoy. Thanks for stopping by. See you in just a minute. Bye-bye. Yes, This Moment in Music. Hello. Hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Phantom X Pro. Nice to have you here. Welcome. Thanks for stopping by, Capitan Bro Cool. All righty. Hey, it's This Moment in Music. My name's Hal Walker. And, oh, look, I like what Tube says. One moment without any bad news. Just love, peace, joy, happiness. He says, thank you, Hal. Tube, thanks so much. You are a delight to have here. Thank you so much. Everyone, I'm feeling kind of in a good mood this morning. I'm so grateful for this show. It gets me out of bed in the morning. It gets me moving around, and I'll tell you what, it's really a good thing. So I need your help on something. I'm leading a multi-generational sing-along in a couple weeks, and I need to collect a list of your favorite the right songs. What songs should I lead? Have any of you guys in my audience today ever been to a sing-along? Wyeth, have you ever been to a sing-along? Faye, have you ever been to a sing-along? Tube, what songs? If you think of a song that you think I should include in my list, now this is not just for 20-year-olds and 15-year-olds. This is a sing-along that incorporates many generations, from the young to the old. I'm looking for songs that people of all ages can sing along. Now, this is going to be a virtual event, so it will be just me singing into the screen, but I'm going to have the words up on the screen, and everyone will be singing from their homes. And if you have any good ideas, please put them in the Hal Walker, the man, the legend. Hey, info for the kill. Thanks so much, man. The legend, the can legend. Yes. And Wyeth is here from the Philippines. It's 11:02 here in the Philippines. Wyeth, are there any songs in the Philippines that everyone sings, that everyone knows? If so, tell me. I'm very interested in knowing. In Thailand, it's 10 o'clock at night. Hey, Faye. Are there any songs in Thailand that everybody knows and that I should know? Oh, yeah, Tube, Down to the River and Pray. I like that one. All right, everyone. Well, this is a beautiful day today here in Ohio, wherever you are in the world, whether it be the Philippines or Thailand or Ohio. I'm so glad you're here. I had a nice moment this weekend. I put together this little video about Rosie the Riveter. I've got a friend named Brad who's a great jazz guitar player, and he recorded himself playing the guitar into his phone, and he sent it to me, and I put together this little upbeat groove, or this upbeat version of this song, Rosie the Riveter. Now, in case you don't know, back in World War II, a lot of the men had to go off to war, and the women were home to take on the jobs of in the factories making the munitions, and it was quite a time. And Rosie the Riveter became kind of the symbol for this time of women going to work and really women's independence and women's liberation Here's the song Rosie the Riveter. Everyone enjoy. We'll be back in just a minute for Alan Rowoth.
All the day long, the rain or shine, she's a part of the assembly line. Oh, she's making history, working for victory. Rosie the Riveter keeps a sharp lookout for sabotage, sitting up there on the fuselage. Oh, that little frail can do more than a male can do. Rosie the Riveter. Rosie's got a boyfriend, Charlie. Charlie, he's a Marine. Rosie is protecting Charlie, working overtime on the riveting machine. When they gave her a production E, she was as proud as a girl could be. Oh, there's something true about red, white, and blue about Rosie the Riveter. Stops to admire the scene. Rosie at work on the P19. Oh, she's never twittery, nervous or jittery. Rosie the Riveter. What if she's smeared full of oil and grease, doing her bit for the old land lease? Oh, she keeps the gang around. They love to hang around. Rosie the Riveter. Rosie buys a lot of war bonds. That girl really has sense. Wish she could purchase more bonds, putting all her cash in the national defense. When they gave her production E, she was as proud as a girl could be. Oh, there's something true about red, white, and blue about Rosie the Riveter.
Oh, yeah. All righty. Yay, yay, yay. Thanks, Alan. Well, everybody, now's the time we've been waiting for. I'm going to bring on my fairly new friend, Alan Rowoth. I think he's calling in from Syracuse, and we're in for a treat. Let's see, where's Alan? Hey, Alan. Let me make a quick change here. I forgot. I need to make a quick adjustment. Built-in mic. And hello, Alan. Are you there?
Hey, there you go.
There we are.
I am. You can see me, hear me?
I hear you. I see you. You look
That's
great.
good.
You sound great. Hey, Alan.
I loved your song, Hal. My friend Betty Reed Soskin. You may not know Betty. She is, or she was, the oldest living U.S. park ranger, and she works, or she did until about a year ago, at the Rosie the Riveter Museum in San Francisco. And she is an American hero. You got to check her out. She just turned 99. She had a stroke last year, and she wants to go back to work. She's probably not going to be able to.
Wow. So
but
there's a
book called Sign My Name to Freedom that she wrote. That is like an autobiography. It is spellbinding. So check it out.
I'm really glad to know about that. So there's a Rosie the Riveter Museum. I had no idea.
Yes, in San Francisco. I was going to go see it when I was there last year, and it was closed. And Betty she just had the stroke, and she wasn't going to be there. She is one of my major life heroes, though. She's really, she's seen everything. She grew up in New Orleans. She's lived through generations of racial problems, you know.
Hey, Alan, to change the subject for a second, when you think of a sing-along, what are the first couple songs that come to your mind that are great songs for community singing? You have any in mind?
Yeah. The first song, it came to mind because it's widely featured in my favorite movie, One from the Heart, a song called You Are My Sunshine.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody knows that song, you know. My grandmother used to sing to me Tooraloo, the Irish song. That's a big one. But when it comes to sing-alongs, being in the folk community as I am, we have a lot of sing-alongs, and more than anything, we sing Beatles songs, all the Beatles songs.
Right.
You know,
like what's the first Beatles song I need to know for a sing-along?
Probably Imagine.
Right.
You know, I mean, that is because it encapsulates our hopes for the future, our dreams, you know. But you can sing She Loves You. You can sing I Want to Hold Your Hand.
Right.
You know, Mr. Moonlight is a favorite of mine. Not everybody knows that one. This Boy would make a nice video for you with the four-way harmonies. You know, you could teach them to your audience. You know, do you know Matt Watroba?
I do, yeah.
Matt does a lot of community singing. He'd have the best ideas for that. He's a wonderful man, a tremendous entertainer.
Matt was on this show, and I'll reach out to him again to get some good ideas. So, Alan,
I did a workshop at NERFA a couple of years ago on community music, and I was with 3 other people, and Matt happened to be in the audience, and he put out more good information during that workshop than the 4 of us on stage combined. He's special.
Yeah, he is really special. I love that guy. So, Alan, this show is called This Moment in Music, and I have a feeling that you're a guy that has a lot of moments in music in your life. And I often ask my guests to recall a musical moment in your life and tell us the story. What's maybe not the first? What is a musical moment? I know you have hundreds and thousands of musical moments having to do with music.
There's so many. I mean, I think most of us remember the first time we heard a really great band. Mine was the Association. I saw them live. They were so good. I just couldn't believe people could be that good live. I think most musicians remember the moment when they decided they wanted to be a musician. Now, for most of the people in my generation, that was the night the Beatles came on the Ed Sullivan Show. But for me, it was an afternoon where my sister had a party. She had a band come over from the high school. She paid them $2 a piece and gave them a pizza, and they played. And the drummer, I thought, was the coolest guy I'd ever met. And I was talking to him on the break, and he said, "You play the drums?" I said, No, I don't play the drums. He sat me on the stool. He put the sticks in my hands. I went bump, 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 and I was a drummer. That was it. Life was over, you know. But there's so many moments. I mean, one of my favorites was the first night we did 5 encores. You know, I mean, 1 encore almost obligatory, 2 or 3, yeah. But the night that we did 5, the first night, we did a lot of encores. I was talking to you yesterday about some of the bands I was in and our stage moss. Well, the band Best Wishes with Ed Hamill and Mike Featherstone and those people, we would, we'd play the whole very energetic show, and when we got called back for the encore, we would take our shirts off and come back shirtless, And if we got called back for a second encore, we would take our pants off, come back in our skivvies. And this particular night, we were playing in Sylvan Beach, New York, and we came back 5 times, and they kept hoping we were going to go for it, but of course we didn't. We kept our skivvies on the whole time. But
hey, Alan, what decade are we talking about here?
Oh, I would say. I think Best Wishes started in maybe 78 and went till about 85.
All right.
So.
And you were playing the drums in that band?
Yeah, I played the drums and I sang. Our utility man, Don Tartaro, would come back and play the drums sometimes so I could get out front and sing. I like to jump off the PA stacks. Back when I was a young, spry guy. Now I'm careful when I walk down a step. But at the time, I was jumping, 25 feet off a PA stack onto the floor and trying not to break my leg.
Wow.
Our guitar player, Eddie, he had this wireless guitar transmitter, one of the very first ones. It had a range of probably 40 feet, But he'd be sliding down the bar on his knees, jamming out. We did a lot of that, and that's a tip I have for musicians. There's a thing in theater they call the fourth wall, and you're looking at this box in the theater, and the invisible wall, the fourth wall, is the one in front of you. Mm-hmm. And if you can break the fourth wall, when you step into the audience is on stage.
Right.
And it's exciting. It's disconcerting. They don't know what's going to happen. They're afraid, but they're titillated. And it can lead to some really wonderful moments. a lot of the folkies you'll see will at one time or another be out walking around in the audience. Matt Nicoa may stalk out and come back. Some performers walk in playing. Some performers walk out playing, you know. But breaking that fourth wall.
It occurs to me that that's one of the great challenges of this virtual performing is we can't break that fourth wall. Finding some way to break that fourth wall and get into the audience, it's next to impossible.
It's true. And it's hard because you don't want to offend people, but you want to disconcert them. You want them to go, wait, what just happened? What's going on here? I think the can that you play sort of does that. You know, they're hearing this very musical sound, you know, but then they look at it and it looks like a, I don't know what, you know, it doesn't look like a
loaf of bread. People say it looks like a loaf of bread.
You know, but that's the thing. And because they're confused, it opens them up. One of the things that I've promoted for years in music is a thing I call the subtle misbooking. The agents hate it when I do this, you know, but for me, the best booking is when you're booked to play at some place that is not exactly where you belong, where you're not just like everybody else. You know, you're close enough that people can understand what you're doing and they get it. I just woke up and my eye is weeping here. But at the same time, they're going, this is not normal, you know, and because of that, they remember you. It's like that moment I spoke about earlier where the first time you heard a great live band and said, wow, I didn't know it could feel this way.
Hey, Alan, tell us a little bit about the experience of being at a folk festival. I know you've been very active as an MC of the
Falcon Ridge.
Of the Falcon Ridge. Festival. I was there one time and I just loved it. It's like a magical place. But tell us more about that experience of being amidst all those musicians and what role do you play in all that?
Well, it's interesting. When I first started going to folk festivals, I'd started the folk music list on the internet. I had a lot of subscribers, and I was a huge fan of Mary Chapin Carpenter. So I offered to do, it was just a racket, really, an interview with her called 20 Questions with Mary Chapin Carpenter. And I went to see her at a theater show, and after the show, I got in the green room and I asked her the 20 questions that had been submitted by my friends and stuff, you know, and transcribed the whole thing for the list. But as I was packing up my recorder, I said, hey, Chapin, what's your favorite gig? And I don't know if I should tell this story. She said, Telluride Bluegrass Festival, without thinking. She just said it. And then she said, oh, but don't tell people I said that. I mean, this is 30 years ago now, so she's entitled to have different feelings. But so I kept my word. I didn't blast it out there. I went home that night and bought tickets to the Telluride Bluegrass Festival, and that changed my life. I started going to a lot of festivals, and I kept hearing more and more about the Kerrville Folk Festival. And are you familiar with that one?
I know the name. I've never been to it.
Kerrville, Texas. It is Songwriter Central. So you'll go down there. It's an 18-day festival. There's two festivals. There's a Big Kerrville on Memorial Day weekend, Little Kerrville on Labor Day weekend. And Big Kerrville on Labor Day weekend, or on Memorial Day weekend, there might be 60 song circles in the campground. I mean, some of them with 30 or 40 people in them. It's unbelievable the stuff that they do. And there's literally hundreds of songwriters who come for that weekend especially, but a lot of them stay through the festival, you know, and it's electrifying. I mean, again, no fourth wall, you know, there's no sound system. You're just in there listening to these cats. You're sitting 10 feet away from Tom Kimmel and Tom Prasada Rao and some of the best songwriters you're ever going to hear. And it was so exciting. I said, shoot, this should happen everywhere. And it didn't. It mostly happened in Kerrville because it was warm there. And I said, I'm going to bring this around to different places. And the first two places I took it to were Falcon Ridge and the Rocky Mountain Folks Festival put on by the Telluride Bluegrass people. We tried to do it at Telluride, but the nights in June in Telluride are so cold. you can't even play. It's, you know, it snows on you.
What is you took the songwriting circle idea? Is that what you brought?
Yes, yes. And that's, you notice my website is called the Big Orange Tarp. The reason is it's a big orange tarp. You know, I had a blue tarp at first. It was small. I stuck a couple together. It leaked in the middle. Then I went out to buy the largest tarp I could get. And I am not very aesthetic, you know. So I just bought the biggest tarp I could find at Sam's Club. It was a 20 by 30, and it was orange. And when we'd be at the festival, people would go, well, I'd say, you got to come up later because we're playing music all night long. We'll play till dawn, you know. And they said, well, where are you? And I'd point up the hill and I'd go, we're the Big Orange Tarp.
Big Orange Tarp, right.
Yeah. And I realized orange is not a popular tarp color. No. It became a trademark. And later when I had to get a bigger tarp because we got so popular at Falcon Ridge, I had to buy one. It cost me $1,000 for a huge orange tarp. But I still called it Big Orange Tarp. I didn't want to change the branding. But I've been doing that for 25, 30 years at different festivals. We used to go to Sonoma Valley, some other ones. Never brought it to Kerrville because there's already so many song circles there. They don't need that, you know. But
and your role in the Big Orange Tarp is the host. Do you?
I'm the ringmaster. I'm the Hal Walker of the Big Orange Tarp. You know, and I'm also the booker, and I think that that's really probably the thing that I do best is I put together these combinations of musicians. So it's never just John Gorka standing up there playing some songs. I will tend to mix old and young, cutting edge and traditional. Very often I put people on stage together because I want to network them. I want them to develop a relationship with one another. We have a thing every year at Falcon Ridge called the Emerging Artist Program. And we pick 24 artists out of hundreds of submissions. I've been a judge for it 3 times now, but there's a different panel of judges every year. And the talent is fantastic, you know. And in addition to playing an afternoon showcase on Friday, it's like 4 hours of 2 songs by all these people. After that finishes, I do a reception in the campground at the Big Orange Tarp for all the performers, for radio DJs and venue bookers and some media people and stuff. And I always tell them, you know, this is not a contest. I mean, it is in that you have to get in. You have to be, you know, picked for it because of so many submissions. But the fact of the matter is, look around you. These 23 acts that are next to you, they're not your competition. They're the people you're going to be working with in this industry for the next 30 years. You know, so you want to get to know them. You want to know their dreams and their aspirations, their strengths and their weaknesses. How can they help you? How can you help them? You collaborate.
That's great, Alan. You know, those emerging artists are some of my favorite guests. If you have any emerging artists you want to send my direction, I'd love to connect with them.
I got about 5 years worth of shows for you, man. I will send you a list. Incredible people.
I love
you heard Scott Cook?
What's that?
Have you heard Scott Cook? Do you know Scott?
No, I'm
unbelievable. Amanda Pascali, fantastic. Lisa Bastoni. I will send you a list that will curl your hair.
All right, I can't wait to get my hair curled. That's well, that's amazing. That's an amazing story, Alan. I love hearing about that. You know, one more thing I'll ask you. We're running a little short on time, but what are you in conversations with people about the future of these folk festivals with the pandemic?
Sure. I mean, Ann Saunders, the creative director of Falcon Ridge, and we talk all the time. She's a brilliant woman, and she's got fantastic ideas, and she's very creative. She's a creative director, you know, for God's sake. And before that, she was doing research on DNA that was being used to help AIDS patients. I mean, she's a biochemist as well. She's big brain, really big brain. But we're all concerned. We don't know because everybody loves live music. There's a thing you get from live music you can't get anyplace else. And Falcon Ridge, it's not so much an audience; it's a family.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Right.
there's a lot of people bought tickets for this year, and when we had to cancel the festival, they just said, "Let it ride, let it ride." You know, we'll catch up when you get back. I was going to wear my new Falcon Ridge T-shirt today. They sent me a COVID T-shirt, and I forgot when I got up. I was in such a haze to do it, but
boy, that brings tears to my eyes hearing that. We're a family, and oh, that's beautiful, man.
Oh, it's unbelievable, the relationships. The girl on my T-shirt here, her name is Allie Sibner. I've been to India with her a couple times. She's my guru, really. She's like 27 years old or some ridiculous thing. And I thought I was going to mentor her. I learned more from her than she's ever going to learn from me. But I met her. She was a kid who grew up in the festival. She'd been there every year since the year she was born. You know, her sister just got married. Her sister has done the same thing, and her sister met her husband there. They just got married up in the Adirondacks. But it's truly, truly a family, and we are so involved with each other.
Wow. Hey, Alan, let's. I really want to hear more of your stories. We're gonna let's set up an hour long show some Saturday night where we can just hear the rest of your stories.
That's perfect. I would love to do that. I love telling stories. It's much easier for me talking to you than to stare into the camera by myself and rip. I just don't feel it.
I know. I hate.
But I want to thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be on the show and to talk a little bit. Encourage people to go to my website, bigorangetarp.org, and see what I'm doing there.
Yeah, I really look forward to staying in touch, Alan. So this has been a treat. My guest on Friday, what is it, Wednesday today? My guest on Friday is a songwriter from Boston named Deb Hardy. And I'm going to play a little video of hers. And Alan, I'll see you after the show, but thanks so much. It's been a treat.
Thank you. It was a pleasure being here. Have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Stay on, though. I'll see you in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, to create and live for life. Whoa, yeah, to create and live for fun. Calm down, yeah. Oh, forget about her. Oh, forget about her. Oh, forget about her.
Yeah, Deb Hardy. She's been in her room creating some cool stuff. Hey, everyone, I want to thank my Patreon supporters. These are the keepers of the moment. Gordon Miller, Terry Sandoval, Nancy Meyer Emmerich, Ken Wilson, Jane Krimmer, Patricia Goetz, Mike Boyd, and my own sister, Caroline Walker. I so appreciate you guys. This show is not, even though it's free for all of you, there are costs involved. So if you're interested, head over to my Patreon and check it out. So everyone, we always end, uh-oh, I did the wrong USB. There we go. Hello, check 1, 2, yes. We always end with this song. People sing along in harmony. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll be back on Wednesday. I'm here every Wednesday and Friday. It's time to start booking acts for November. So if you have any good ideas, send them my way. This is episode 53. I have connected with 53 musicians. Tube, I think, has been to like 50 of those, if not all 53. Thank you, Tube. Good to have you, Kelvin. Thanks, everybody. Here's the song. It goes like this. You've got a light inside you. Go on your way in peace. So shine that light, the light inside you. Go on your way in peace. The world is waiting in the hope of another day. She will carry you safely through the stumbles and the falls on your way. Just remember that I am loving you and you're loving me. So as you go, won't you go on your way now in peace? Yes, as you go, won't you go on your way now in peace? Everyone, go on your way in peace. Enjoy the day wherever you are in the world, or enjoy the night if you're in Thailand. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you back here on Friday. Bye-bye.